right now, the next 1 hour of this definitive business and markets programming here on Nigeria's news leader, Channels Television. Welcome to the program. It's Wednesday, the 31st of March. I am Boston Amafaye. Nigeria's finance minister is not smiling, and of course, she has no reason to smile. The deadline for the ongoing historic voluntary assets and income declaration scheme is now on course, and there will be no extension. So you've just tried to start today our own countdown to March the 31st. If you look at the calendar right there on your TV screen, you'll see where we are at the moment. Today is the 7th, that's Wednesday. So we got about, technically, about 20, we got 2 weeks, technically 3 weeks, for every one of us to step forward and come clean. So the finance minister yesterday used another opportunity to tell everyone who is everybody and provide an update that there will be no extension to this 31st deadline on voluntary assets and income declaration project, the first ever in Nigeria's history. So today is the 6th, so today is the 7th of March, and you can see there by Saturday, the 31st, that will be a weekend, a very nice way. By the time you wake up on April the 1st, then you're likely to see what will happen. But let's get on and move on. What is what the finance minister saying is being widely reported this morning? The minister says 130,000 high net worth Nigerians and corporate organizations are now being identified. They are the ones who underpay tax. That's a whopping, that's 130,000 Nigerians, high net worth Nigerians and companies who underpay tax to the tax man. The Buhari's administration is doing this as a reminder to all of you with the data that's been mined from federal and state agencies, including foreign countries such as Mauritius and the British Virgin Islands. You want to go online and know what happens in those two countries. They are considered to be tax havens and places where folks do, well, buy some news items, double registrations for companies and what have you. Folks go to such countries to build what you called companies that are skeletal in nature and then try to hide income, revenue, whatever, tax and all of that. Sometimes file those papers offshore and decide to evade tax here. Homeland Nigeria. So the government has signed some deal with those countries, and they are opening the vault to reveal names of individuals and Nigerians and companies who may have been playing games with the tax man. And all this is coming through what has been quietly codenamed Project Lighthouse. That's very interesting, isn't it? So the finance minister, Kemi Adeosun, is now armed with your bank records, your financial filings, whether you file them here or you file them offshore, including your tax papers from the Inland Revenue Service and outside, as well as land registries, including, of course, customs documents and a little bit more. So all these have been put together under the Project Lighthouse, a very quiet and all-encompassing investigation to come up with the names that now says 130,000. Remember, the VADES program has netted about 20 billion. The target is about 305 billion. So it looks like what's been achieved is still a scratch of the surface. That's about $1 billion was the target under the VADES program. And this is all been achieved as we speak. The finance minister yesterday praised the quote-unquote unprecedented cooperation between the federal and state governments on this Project Lighthouse, which now is grabbing everyone who are involved. So the finance chief yesterday also used the opportunity to provide some clarity as to the common tax violations that the VADES program is targeted. So you need to listen to this if you fall into this category and understand what we're talking about is VADES. First is what she says is the under-declaration of and non-declaration of income earned So if you under-declare, if you earn $1 million and you declare 100,000, that's an under-declaration. Or non-declaration, that is if you earn and you don't even declare any single cover. Then that includes, however, those who got income from government contracts. Remember, that's what I call portfolio contractors. Those are ones that the VADs will be looking for right now. And then those will include overseas trading. And all of those are included in the first tax violations that VADs is pursuing. The second is companies that collected VAT, that's the value-added tax on bread, on pastries, on services, whatever you call it, television, radio, advertisements, whatever it is, and they're not remitting them duly to the Federal Inland Revenue Service. So everyone who collects VAT and is not remitting them to the FRS, you need to declare before the deadline. Then you have the charging of non-allowable personal expenses to companies' accounts. Hold on a second. That is charging your non-allowable personal expenses, overseas travels, diesel and petrol for generators at the home of the directors or the managing director and all of that. If you have non-allowable personal expenses that you now charge to the company's accounts, particularly with regards to overseas school fees. So those who have kids overseas and they're collecting dollars, whatever money that's now passing it into the company account, those ones are also a tax violation. And finally, the inconsistency between the income declared for tax purposes and the value of the assets owned. Inconsistency between the income that you declared for tax purposes and the value of assets you owned. So if you own 20 houses or lands in Lagos, in Abuja, and the income from there is XYZ, and that's the value of the asset.